Black came back. Yay!
Oh, y'all thought we was going somewhere? I ain't going nowhere. We gonna be here forever. But yeah, Black Thoughts. We gonna hear these thoughts. Y'all gonna hear me thinking forever. Y'all thought we was going somewhere? Huh? Your ass is back in there. Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, get back in there. Yeah, we ain't sharing it. Hey, we got all y'all here. We got the family here. This all the Black family we need. We ain't doing that, man. Get your asses back in here. We gonna wait.
I was viewing her request.
Okay.
She requested it to.
Thank you for hanging around, Nick. We appreciate you so much. Technical difficulty. I just speak. Can hear you?
What you said? Say that again.
Oh, can you hear us?
It's a little spotty, but it's better.
Okay. Let's test this. How can we test this?
I don't know.
No, you can hear that.
No, I saw her face.
Oh, okay.
She was like, I don't know.
Can you hear us enough?
Yeah, I can hear you enough. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
But I apologize in advance if you hear Rumi and Shirley in the background. They're both very loud.
No, I'd like to hear her Black Thoughts too. I want to play. That's what I'm.
Oh, see? You hear her?
Yeah.
Thanks to our brother Ben for coming back in here.
And thank you, Jeff, for coming back.
Jess is still with us. Ben is still with us. Michelle is still with us. We are live right now on Black Thoughts with our sister, 5 Foot of Soul. Our sister Shen, who will be starting school soon. We love a Black educated queen. There we go. So do a bit of clap. There we go. And put them hands back up there for me, please. Okay, Gohan. We are sending a spirit bomb of love and positivity towards you. So please go kill Cell for us and kill Sue.
Thank you. I feel positivity.
Yeah. So
welcome back to the Rolling Pin Podcast.
Hey. Hi. You owe me Hennessy. So we are bringing our sister to give us her Black thoughts on protecting Black women. As you can see, she is a very caramel Black woman. We appreciate firstly, we appreciate your time. We appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thanks.
No worries.
So
it's an honor. I said it's an honor being here or be alive. So thank you guys.
So we wanted to jump into things. Obviously, we don't have like a script here. We're just us shooting the S word. But so just very quickly, or take your time. Give your thoughts on protecting Black women. If you want to talk about your experiences, you want to elaborate on something that we may have missed. As we all know, I am slow. So yeah. So please here, jump in whenever you want, sis.
There's a lot. First of all, you guys can hear me, right? You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I don't even know where to start. You guys brought up a lot of points. You guys actually educated me on a lot of things today, so thank you for that. As always, I appreciate you guys and what you're doing. Educating the community is much needed. But I don't know. We just have to protect our Black women. We have to mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Like, it's so needed because, as you guys mentioned, like, we're vulnerable. We're very vulnerable. And a lot of the harm that is happening to us is actually happening from Black men, which makes it kind of heartbreaking because it's like, you would feel that this person is supposed to be your protector. This person is supposed to be comforting you, but yet he's hurting you. You know, he's putting you at the most harm. And it's like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, why is that happening? Like, where's the disconnect, and how can we repair it as a community to just make sure that our Black women are safe? Because as a mother who has a young daughter, like, it's scary. It's very scary because she's gonna get to an age where I have to turn her over to the world, and I don't want to go to prison, but I mean, if I have to, I will, because it's just like it's scary. It's very scary, and I I don't know. I feel like I'm, as you would say, Bruce, like rage rambling a bit, because it's just I don't know. It's very heartbreaking, and especially the last story that you touched on, the young God forgive me if I'm messing up her name, Miss Salou. Like, that story is just, it's so troubling to me. And as you mentioned, although the other victim was Caucasian and she was, they were tracking her phone, but it just kind of breaks my heart that, like you mentioned, if they weren't looking for that other victim, they probably would have never found Miss Alou. And it's just like, that's so crazy to me. Yet again, they're putting more effort to find a white woman than this black woman who literally tweeted, like, I was assaulted and I'm in fear for my life, and nothing was done.
Yeah.
Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, how does that even happen? Like, just
like, the crazier parts of that story is that, so even in the span of like the short week before her assault and disappearance, that she had spent those days. This was in June, so she had spent those days at protests for George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, and Breonna Taylor. And it was just crazy to me that this woman had dedicated her time at the age of 19 to go out into the streets and fight for the rights and justice of Black men. And a Black man is the one that assaulted her and took her life. And I just thought that's like dead crazy that like Black women from literally birth break their for us and get almost nothing out of it. And it's like a sense of like betrayal. It's like I feel like basically like almost every, like, not every Black man, we're not here to bash Black men, but it's like a Judas effect. The person is literally bringing you nothing but life and nothing but healing, and Black women get I'm getting choked up, and also suck at talking anyway. Black men have turned their backs. Black men have become abusers. And it's very heartbreaking.
It is. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Have you ever been made to feel unsafe? And if so, how did you deal with it?
I don't know if you would remember this, because this actually happened in elementary school. Do you remember Anthony Holder? Because this kind of, it piggybacks all the way to when you and Ashay was talking about like being a young Black girl and you're coming into your body at an early age. And I was one of those children who, my boobs came in a little early. And there was a young man who was in our class. He actually passed away, so rest his soul, Anthony Holder. And I don't know if you remember this, Bruce, because you was in the class with me, remember? And he groped on my boobs, and I think we were only like 9 or 10, and I think that was like the first time like I experienced something like that, where somebody touched me without my consent and in such a vulgar and just distasteful manner. And to this day, that kind of it traumatized me, because if anybody knows me, like, I like to wear like baggy shirts, like the bigger shirt the better, because I just like literally he put a fear in me that like everybody's gonna see my boobs and you're just gonna grab it. It's not till like, you get older, you're becoming more of a woman, you start going out, you start embracing your body, you start wearing, different things. But like, I think that's probably like one of the earliest forms of feeling unsafe and like, wow, like nobody cared, like. And it was so crazy. And the crazy thing is, I didn't even go home and tell my parents about it, because of that whole like I didn't want to get anybody in trouble. I was afraid to say something because it was like, I feel like if I said something, people were going to be like, so why didn't you do something? Well, what was I supposed to do? Like, I'm in complete shock. And at the time, I'm only like 9 or 10 years old. So you're not really thinking like, you know, so I think that's probably like one of the earliest forms of feeling like unsafe. And there was an instance on the Ave, on Jamaica Ave, where I was walking and I'm walking with one of my good friends, and this guy just comes up and he grabs me from the behind and he turns me around. He's like, hey. And I'm like, what the fudge? I'm like, who are you? And he's like, oh, my bad. I thought you was somebody else. So I asked him, I was like, if I was the person that you wanted, what were you going to do? And he was like, don't worry about it. And that, exactly. And that made me so scared yet again, because I'm just like, what was he going to do to this person? Like, were you about to, like, were you going to hit her? Were you going to assault her? Like, what were you possibly going to do that you felt you had the right to even touch me and turn me around like that? And mind you, this is like broad daylight on Jamaica Avenue. So it was, I think those are like the two instances that really come to mind where I was just like, wow, like, as a young woman, sometimes you really could just feel really powerless out here, and it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Also,
yeah. Back to what you were saying about being in elementary school, I kind of had a similar situation when I was in, I think it was 6th grade. I joined the track team, and I went up the steps. And it was me and some other guy in the staircase, and I'm wearing these baggy shirts. They were my brothers, and like I just like touched my butt, and I'm like, did that just happen? And then, cause I didn't like when I turned around, like I didn't see his hand like behind me or anything. Like it was just down to like where like how he was running or whatever. And so like I didn't say anything to my brother because I knew how he would get. He would probably beat him up, you know. And I didn't say anything about it. I just kept it to myself. That's one of the reasons why I dress how I dress too. I hate wearing tight clothes. Like I used to wear sweats all the time or shorts, like it'd just be baggy, and it kind of doesn't help because it just fits the form of what you have, you know.
Yeah, and all of this is a very vivid reflection of like just basically like our young Black men lack guidance, and no one is telling them how to act accordingly in general. No one's telling them how to treat women. Even I myself, I believe this was either yesterday or the day before, where just going to the corner store, there was a group of like young boys who couldn't have been any more than like middle school age, that they were, hey, and I'll say it like they were chilling on one corner in front of the corner store, and on the adjacent corner was a group of adult Black men. So we can see where the behavior is imitated from. And as I was going into the store, just a little showing of like how much home training these kids don't even have, I had to say excuse me before one of them actually moved so I could get to the door. And I'm just like, well, these little kids are savages anyway. Because if I see an adult coming, if I see anyone coming, I just move. And then as I was going in, I heard one of them yell, "Hey, you got a fat ass." So I turned around and I looked, and there was a teenage girl crossing the street away from them, and one of them was addressing her. And it's just like, I'm not gonna say like this behavior isn't like, it's probably not taught, because I'm pretty sure like it's kind of outlandish to believe that someone sat this little boy down and said, "Hey, you know how to get a girl's attention? Tell her she got a fat ass." But it's just like, it's not like someone has taught them that, but they are imitating the behavior that they see.
Yeah.
And it's not just the men in their household, it's not just the men in their communities, it's also entertainment.
Yeah.
Where we, like celebrities are, I think a lot of people confuse stardom and celebrity with leadership. Where it's like our entertainers, like it is their job to capture and command our attention. And a lot of them, most of them don't use their platform for good anyway. Whereas we can see, well, like I brought up T.I. earlier, where T.I. does in fact use his platform to uplift Black people as a whole. But when it comes to, obviously I don't know him, but like his wife, we've seen him disrespect his wife publicly many times.
Or even his daughter. Like
Yeah.
going to the gynecologist with her to make sure, you know, things are intact. Like I feel like first of all, that's an invasion of my privacy. Like you can wait outside until I'm finished with the doctor, but don't come inside and try and figure out what's happening. Don't know. That's too much. That is across the line.
Yeah. Also, so like maternal mortality rate is an episode in itself. That'll be done later. But also just like this is also a failure. This is like to show like a reflection of like failure in like the medical community. Because she was a child, and as a due to HIPAA laws, he would still have to get permission from her in front of the doctor for the doctor to even speak to him about this. But as he said, like in his own words, all he would have to say is, she's gonna tell you it's okay to talk to me about this. And if she's sitting there, then like obviously it's her father and she's afraid of him.
Right.
And obviously she's gonna say yes. So it was just like there has to be better protocols in place to protect not even just black girls, just to protect women like in general.
Yeah.
Whereas like as a community, like world in general doesn't protect women like at all. And I know she's actually from Queens too. If anyone's watching out there, don't stalk my girlfriend because I will. But yeah, but yeah. So like as soon as you said the Ave, I knew this was going somewhere bad.
Yeah, I hate the Ave. If there's one place that I would rather never go again in my life is the Ave, but it's hard because that's where all the transfers are. So I have to go to the train there, and I was walking there one day, and I was wearing tights, and I never wear tights like outside unless I'm going to work out. And this guy literally said, "Oh my gosh, that bee has a big butt." Oh. Cursing, and I'm just like, I can't go anywhere. Like I can't do anything without people just being so overly, you know, too much, you know.
Yeah.
And it makes me think like, if you heard someone say that about your daughter, what would you do? Like you wouldn't like it. And then it also makes me think, well, how were you brought up too?
That's a very good point. I must say, I feel like to have men in my life who are sensible, who set good example as to what you should, like what a man should be and how they should act. Granted, I mean, they're human, they have flaws, but it was never a situation where I seen my father disrespecting my mother, even though they're not together, but they, you know, they have a mutual, you know, friendship. They work with each other. They're still cool. My mom, she raised my brother. Like my brother is probably like one of the most, how would you say, like I make fun of him to say like he's more of the woman in his relationships because like he cleans, he cooks, he like, you know, he does his part, like he holds it down. So must say I'm truly blessed on that front to say like I've been around men who don't have this mindset like, oh no, that a woman's supposed to be doing that, like you cook, you clean, like it's very like it's 50-50, like what are your strengths, what are my strengths, and how do we come together and make that work? And also being best friends with Bruce is like the most I'm sorry, I keep calling you Bruce, I'm so sorry. Black man, I'm so sorry, dude, you have to forgive me. It's just
Don't matter.
I apologize to the Black Thoughtz family. Like, you don't understand. Me and this guy go way back, so it's just this is so natural for me. But
20, it's 20 years this year.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, like 4-3, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we've been in the same elementary, same junior high, same high school, but we really bonded in high school. So
we need a Hennessy night. Yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna do drunk talks eventually. So
Oh, yeah, that's please invite me. I want to do that.
For
yes,
sure.
yes.
Because we always have some really great conversations. Like, you know, whenever we drink and we're like, we got to share this.
I just can't play like Meg Thee Stallion in the background because then I'm gonna get it be like, what's wrong with this?
Or Janae.
So I'm sorry. Do you guys mind if I digress a bit? But the song "WAP" that came out with Cardi B and her and Meg, I must say, I'm so happy that that song dropped, and I'm so happy that they're pushing this agenda of like women embracing their sexuality, being comfortable in your skin, because as you said, like unfortunately, like Black women are just seen as being over sexualized and like we're nasty and like we don't have any morale. But I like that they're trying to change the narrative to say like I can have integrity, I could be a hard worker, I'm out here getting my money, I'm doing what I gotta do, but I like to have sex. You know, like that doesn't make me less than a person. Like I'm still a person. I'm still doing what I gotta do. Like why can't I enjoy something that's natural to me? So I really enjoy their music, and I really like that song. It's probably I added it to my workout playlist, so I'm definitely gonna be listening to it tonight. But yeah, I feel like their music is so needed right now. Like I feel as a Black woman, like they're just so inspirational. They're so it's just good to see like they're in like all this sex talk aside, they're encouraging you to like get your bag and just be, you know, just be your best self. Like you don't need a man, you don't need anybody as long as you have the determination and the vision. Like you could get out and you could do it. So, and I feel as Black women, we need to hear that. We need to hear more of that because we're constantly told you can't do it. You're less than. That if you are gonna try, you're gonna fail. So to see them telling you otherwise is good. We need that.
Yeah.
Like Xavier is pointing out, human. Like, females are human too. And I feel like there's a double standard. There's double standards all across the spectrum between women. But I feel like there's a double standard with women can't um, express that they like sex, or they express that, you know, they're sexual, or they might have more than one partner, but when a man does it, oh, you're the man, da da da. Like it's glorified pretty much for the man, but then for us, we're shamed for it.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. Like I know, cause I'm my family's Jamaican, and coming from a Jamaican family, like I feel like in Jamaican culture, like as a man, the more like quote unquote baby mothers and kids you have, like people like that's like is like a big thing. It's like oh like break up to your brethren or whatever, and then it's like if you're a woman and you have like different baby or that's probably just across the board in Black community I should say, or if you're a Black woman and you have like multiple, you know, baby dads, or like you have two kids with this guy and another one, it's like you said, it's like a double standard. It's frowned upon, but yet and still like this same guy that you're over here praising, he have like all these kids stretched all over the place and he can't take care of them, but you're glorifying him for that. Whereas this woman, you know, I don't know, things may have happened, but she ended up having kids with different guys, but she's doing what she has to do and she's providing for her kids, but you're frowning on her. And just growing up, I always felt that was so weird to me. Like, why are you glorifying someone who's going around dropping random babies and he can't even feed them?
Yeah.
And she's over here, whatever the situation may be, like she was just trying to try out love again and she got a baby out of it and yet again it didn't work, but you're over here calling her names and dragging her down, but she's just trying to be the best mother she can be. And I always, like me personally, I just always hated that. And I was just like why are you doing that? Like praise her for still trying to stick it out and do what she got to do, and even trying to still go out there and find love despite everything she's been through. Like it's just crazy to me.
So while we're here, because I want to like not elaborate on it, bring it into the conversation, which I know you're gonna love this because it's about Drake. Where so after the birth of his son, Drake did lament in one of his songs about like the fact that how much he loves his son, but just regrets the mother of his child. But which I thought was first of all, it was disrespectful. And then it was just effing stupid because, not that I'm judging her, Drake knew exactly who that woman was and what she did before he decided to lay down with her. So like, he knew that she had did porn. He knew there was other men in the industry that she had been with. He knew she had stripped, and yet he still decided to either pursue that woman or she pursued him. He still gave in to the pursuit. He still decided to lay down with her, which, hey, children come from sex. So for you to like have a child with this woman and just say, oh, I don't regret the child, but I regret this woman, bro, like, you know exactly what you were doing. If she was good enough for you to have sex with in the first place, then she's good enough to be the mother of your child. If she was good enough to be around you in the first place, then like, yo, she's good enough to be the mother of your child. If you had sex with her. So it's like, and like, he says not to like dog her out, but like, obviously what you're saying is dogging her out. And Rick in his 30s. So I've said this before, like, not all boys grow to be men. And
amen.
it doesn't come with age, it doesn't come with success, it doesn't come with money, anything at all. And because my memory sucks. So before we get too far away from the topic, I want to go right back to WAP, which is, I wish I could say the name of this stuff, but we don't cuss around here. Whew! But sexuality in women in general is not accepted, and publicly, due to misogyny. And it's not just like the content of the music. It's not that, like, even though Cardi B, very skilled artist, Ghost Rider or not, very skilled artist, Meg Thee Stallion, very, very, very talented and skilled artist, Trina, Little Kim, City Girls, who I love. I'm ratchet on the low. Guess you gotta know. But yeah, all these women, their music is very sexual, and they do, successful or not, they do get scrutiny from both men and women, because like, women being comfortable with their sexuality is foreign, because that sexual self-confidence is stolen from a lot of women at a very young age, where both of you have stories from, I don't know why I'm pointing that way, like you're actually in the room, but like both of you have stories, like when you were very, very young, like you said 9, and you were in elementary school, where I'm not going to say that it was like sexual assault, but you were made to feel uncomfortable sexually when you were both just learning your bodies. You're already like, puberty is hard for everyone. So your body starts to grow. You don't know what's going on. None of our parents exactly know how to sit down and have these conversations. So you're already uncomfortable in your own body. And then for someone to come along and make it worse. Whereas like both of you have started to say that like you wore baggy clothes to hide your natural human bodies that both of you deserve to be very proud of. And both of you deserve to feel very comfortable in. So that like, that sexual self-confidence is foreign, and for a woman is foreign to a lot of people, because it's not displayed from younger ages, because it's stolen at younger ages. And, which is an injustice to Black women and women everywhere. And I think it just speaks to like, we need better guidance for our boys, where it's like, hey, like I don't regret staying up at 3 a.m. to watch the Tip Drill video on BET Uncut, but like, hey, that came on at 3 a.m. for a reason, because we were all supposed to be asleep. Parents are asleep too, but it's like, yeah, like these like learned behaviors, like even like I remember like being a teenager, like there are things that like I saw that I was dead taught were like normal that like getting older and like realizing that like how stupid that was. Whereas even like if you're like, and we all been to parties as like children, or like the Labor Day parades, Puerto Rican Day parades, when you're going through a crowd. You know how long it took me to realize that like, hey, if I need to get by a woman, I don't have to touch her. It's like I don't have to touch her shoulder. I don't got to touch her waist when I get by. All I have to say, excuse me, loud enough to get by, or just like try to go around. But I do see. I don't know like how bad that was. I do also remember like going to like Juve, which is already unruly. She's not from here, so I don't even know if she knows what I'm talking about. No. Whereas like that's like 1 year I was there.
Oh Lord, you gotta tell her about Juve.
Yeah, she's just gonna lock her in the house like it's a full moon that night. Whereas like I was like I would have only been like 15 was this is 2006. I still would have been 15. Where there was like a line of men was like it's like a Soul Train line. Except for that, it was just the women that had to get through this crowd. They would dead like start slapping ass. Mm-hmm. And just innocent women like pretty sure they just want to enjoy their night and enjoy a party just like everyone else. But and it's assumed that like hey, because they're out here and it's the middle of the night, they must be looking for either trouble or fun, and it just depends on what your definition of that is. But for like especially in a young boy's mind, that is very, very skewed. Yeah.
You know, when I was in school,
I'm gonna dip out a little bit, guys. Get a charger.
When I was in school, I watched a video on Mardi Gras and how, you know, they would make the beads for like $1 or whatever, and the women in Mardi Gras would literally lift up their top just to get beads. And I was like, that's extremely. First, I was like, that was unheard of to me. I was utterly surprised.
Coming closer to this black skin.
I was just like, that has to be extremely sexualized, especially for the men who would instigate it. You know, like, oh, you want beads? Show me your stuff. And then
I know for beads, it's just that's so it's so bizarre to me. It's like you're really doing all this for beads, like you said, they're like $1 and some change. Like you could buy them. Like why are you going through all this trouble?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So we see that on television. Also, if you were an insomniac like me, also girls going wild. Commercial, even just the commercials. These things were.
Those. I actually do remember those.
Yeah, these things were like actually staged. But we're just taught that like we're just programmed to believe that hey, women act like this when they want to party, women act like this when they want to get drunk. And like I said, even watching music videos, unless it was like a Common music video, like John Legend, I can't remember a video as a kid where I actually, it's not funny, I can't remember a video where I actually saw a woman get respected in a music video.
So it's so funny you say that because again in Jamaican culture, like dance hall, like that is some of the most vulgar music on God's earth. Like it's all about like gonna flip you this way, spread out this way, skin out this way. Like it's to a point where I actually haven't listened to dance hall in over a year because it's just like it's just too much. And I've been listening to Afro beats heavily, and I also been watching like the music videos to the songs. And one thing I want to say I love so much about Afro beats is that their music videos, to your point, it's like the women in the video, they treat them with such respect. Like they're most of the time the women are in like traditional like Ghanaian or Nigerian clothing. Is always like a full spectrum of Black women, so from the lightest shade to the darkest shade. And they're showing you like Black women just having fun and being happy and being treated with respect. They're not in like these little pum pum shorts. I mean, even if they are in pum pum shorts, it's not like in a how would you say it's not in a like overly sexual. Yeah, like it's just like she's in her pum pum shorts, she's having fun and she's being comfortable. And I think that's the thing I love so much about just listening to Afrobeats and watching the music videos, because it's like they're just promoting all this positivity and love to like Black people and Black women. And that's the thing I love so much about it, because it's just like you could feel that positivity when you listen to the music versus like when you're listening to dance hall, it's just this constant like, oh, like women are just for sex, like you're just a sex machine, like the only time I refer to you or talk about you is when I'm having sex with you. And I'm just like, but we offer so much more. We raise you, we give life. Like, I don't know. That's just my whole take on that.
Black women are way, way, way more educated than Black men.
Yeah.
I believe also Black women do. I haven't double checked. I also believe Black women do make more money than Black men on a large scale. And yeah, that's why I love Cardi and Meg coming together and like working on that, where it's like, because we already know. I've already seen the criticism of, oh, they're just talking about sex. They just want to be nasty and sex is selling. Cardi B was a stripper, and she did say that, hey, she started stripping because she didn't really see much of a future for herself. But she did know that they made money, and she needed to feed her family and get through school. And then it was her intention. I know she said she had $80,000 saved up from stripping.
Oh, wow.
And she was going to open a salon. And then Love and Hip Hop hit her up. So she decided to put off the salon and go with that. And then from the criticism of Love and Hip Hop, where people say, well, she shouldn't be here. She's not an artist. She's not a rapper. She wants to pursue a music career. As we know, got into a music career, killed that. Also, as an actress, she's in that stripper movie.
Yeah,
right?
she's in Hustlers.
Yes.
That. I never saw it.
Well, literally, Cardi B, I'll say it, she's from the same kind of neighborhoods we are from. Cardi came from nothing and has made herself into a multimedia millionaire.
Yep.
And then, even though Meg Thee Stallion is very young, Meg is a college-educated woman.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear us? You can still hear us?
Oh, yeah, no, go ahead. You kind of went out a bit, but I hear you. Sorry. I was just trying to make sure I didn't.
We back. We're back. So Meg is a very young college-educated woman that is still pursuing her degree. She is traveling the world.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. Traveling the world and honing her craft. And I will say it. I will put the respect on that Black woman's name. Meg Thee Stallion is the best and the most influential artist right now. I was gonna say like rapper, no, of like artist, period. TikTok wouldn't be, I don't know about them other people. I didn't know about TikTok before Meg's challenges started. Did you?
No.
Did you?
No, you actually pointed that out to me. You brought that to my attention. I was like, oh, okay. And that's how I found out about it. Yeah.
TikTok owes that woman a check. As far as like, especially everyone saying hot girl summer.
Yep.
Kylie Jenner pops up in this WAP video just to show like her.
Sorry, can I interject about that real quick? I'm sorry, not to digress, but I was just like, I'm watching the video, I'm having a good time. I'm like, yes, Black beauty, goodness, like yes, big. Oh yeah, don't cuss, big butts, boobies, all that. And then, I saw this curvaceous woman walking down the hall. I'm thinking it's like Cardi or something. She turns around. I'm like, why? And I was like, no. I actually paused the video and I was like, why is she in this? Like, I had to come out of the video altogether because I'm like, this does not make sense. Yet again, why as Black women can we have something for ourselves and just enjoy it and have a good time without some random Caucasian person just being in it and infiltrating it? Like, why? Like, that made me
our brother Nick is with us.
all of that for her to open a door, just to open a door, made no sense to me. Absolutely none.
And I'm doing all this like I'm marking out because this is like she'll tell you that's my same exact reaction.
That was my reaction too, because I was like, what is she doing here? And then he was like, I'm done. Like,
Yeah.
he's going
I
to
was like it ruined the video for me.
Yes, it did.
Until like the next scene is like them like dancing in the water, and I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then Normani's little chocolate self pops up in there, and I was like, okay.
Oh, that was her. I was
Yeah, that was
her.
her.
Who that was? I was like, she looked familiar, but she looked good. But she looks familiar, but I couldn't figure it out who it was.
Yes. I was just like, I have the same thing. Like, not just Black women. I just like our best. Like, I love Meg. I love Cardi. I respect all the NBA players, football players, all that. Our best and brightest need to stop selling us out to these people.
I agree.
Stop sneaking these people in here. Like, it needs to stop. Kanye West, destroyed.
I just say Kanye needs mental health. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say about him. But he needs help.
Lamar Odom, destroyed. Tiger, I think Tiger may have got out of there just in time. He didn't escape with his hairline though.
Tristan.
Surprisingly, Travis is doing well. He holding on, but I'm watching him.
He's just ugly.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Tristan Thompson. I really feel Tristan. It's not. It's been made a joke that Tristan Thompson keeps cheating because he's trying to get away from that family and he just won't let him go. But honestly, like, having an overactive libido is a sign of depression. So this actually could be like his sexual addiction, as Pete referred to. It could literally, that could be a cry for help. And then like we also see Bruce Jenner, who, as far as like, hey, I love him and I'm Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn, who's just Caitlyn Jenner now, which I love him and I'm happy for him.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he obviously went through years of like turmoil in that family, even if it's just like he wasn't able to express that who he really was. But yeah, I just also
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we have to. Mm-hmm. I don't believe the Kardashian family mean Black women any good. So I would go as far as say like, hey, keeping the Kardashians and the Jenners out of this culture is a way to protect Black women.
I feel like it should because I just feel like we should. I'm not gonna say nothing else. I feel like we should.
Where you would see Kylie and never like you and I both thought the same thing. I thought that was Cardi.
So did I thought that was Cardi, but I was like, because it was covering her side, so you didn't see her tattoos. So I'm like, okay,
exactly. You just saw the back, so that's why I was like, oh, it's Cardi, because you know Cardi do like the long hair like that, you know. And then she turned around, and I'm like, why?
I think they had her in it to probably have the whole we're not beefing thing because of the speculation of why Megan got shot, because apparently Kylie was in it.
I don't
with Tori, so maybe that's why she was in it, to like a peacemaking thing.
But I feel like that would have been filmed before she got shot, but to keep her in the video without editing her out, yeah, that could work.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
They could have easily just taken her out.
What's up, Renowned Fitness? Make sure you ladies cop their activewear today.
Yes, I said it before. I say it again. Renowned Fitness, that workout set, my brother. God bless you. God bless your soul. We do couples workouts.
Yep.
It's hard for me to get through. It's hard for me to focus. Should be having a little Meg Thee Stallion moments over here.
Can I just say that I really find you guys so adorable. Like, you guys are super cute. Like, you guys warm my heart. And I love seeing you guys, and I really appreciate all that you're doing. Like, this is awesome, and you guys are just so cute. Like, you guys say the same things at the same time. Like, you're just so adorable. Like, if anyone doesn't tell you guys that enough, I'm telling you guys. Like, I love you both. Like, just
we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so while we have many brothers in here, you have me here. You have our brother Renowned Fitness here, Renowned Lifestyle on IG. Make sure you follow my brother there. Xavier is in here. Our brother Nick Shin is still in here. While you have all you have the attention of all of these Black men, both of you, from the mouths of Black women themselves. How can we, as Black men, protect you and in general just make things better for you?
Be accountable. When you do fuck shit, oof, oof, oof. I'm so sorry, guys. We don't cuss. So sorry. When you do fuck stuff, sorry. Just be
We're trying to get a deal with HBO anyway, so.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. Like, because for me, I feel like accountability it's very important. So that came from a very passionate place. So it's just like when you do something, just be accountable for it. Like, just say, hey, I messed up. But the best way to say I'm sorry is just through change behavior. So I feel like accountability, change behavior, and just taking the time to educate yourself. Like, there, as you always like to say, there are resources. There, like, if you could read, there's no excuse. Like, there are places and resources to get information, to seek out, and to be better. So it's just like, be accountable, and change behavior. Like, just because you saw it done one way, you don't have to continue that. Like, you have the power to say, I'm going to break the cycle and do better. And by continuing that cycle, eventually we'll get to a place where we don't even have to have conversations like these anymore. So it's just like accountability, change behavior, and definitely just educating yourselves, for sure.
I feel like breaking the
Inside
cycle.
for customers.
It's okay. I feel like breaking the cycle is very important in our culture and day and age, because sometimes we don't realize what's happening until we get an outside perspective, because we're so used to it happening and we think it's normal. Like the example of Ray Rice, like he's admitted to having other forms of abuse to his wife, not just physical. And then once he realized, like, I'm being abusive, he asked for help. And he said he didn't ask for help and he didn't have that courage to ask for help. So he asked for help, and then that's when everything changed, because they had to work on each other and to notice, like, what was happening. And I think for, the men out here to understand the cycles that's happening, and whatever is a bad cycle, to break it and understand how to break it and how to acknowledge that it's a bad cycle. Also, if you see, like, other people doing it and you know it's wrong, let them know. Don't just let it go, because you're not helping anybody by just letting it pass.
Yeah, it's not just accountability goes. It's not just one way. It's not just two ways. Not just three ways. Accountability, it starts with yourself, and then it starts, and then after that's everyone around you.
Yeah.
Where if you can do some self-reflection and find that what you're doing is wrong, and then you see someone else exhibiting the same behavior, I wouldn't say it's your duty, but it is best for you to step in and maybe point this out to someone who may not know that they're doing something wrong.
Yeah. Because sometimes we'll have tunnel vision and we won't realize or understand that our actions are harmful, or what we're doing is just blatantly wrong, until someone lets us know.
Yeah. And I need all my men to realize that not all abuse is physical. There's also psychological abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse.
Psychological, mental, emotional,
verbal abuse.
Verbal abuse, yep. Yes. Which is, like, I believe, like, that's second to, like, physical abuse.
Yeah.
Because as we all know, words are powerful.
Very powerful.
And how you can break someone down with just your words.
Yep. And also, for the females, like, also having that courage to leave an environment that you know is toxic and that you know is not good for you. Because there's a lot of people that I've spoken to that said they were in bad relationships, and they noticed like their body couldn't take it. Their body, they couldn't eat, they couldn't sleep, they were losing weight, they were gaining weight, and then once they got out of that relationship, completely changed. They were able to eat, they were able to gain weight, they were trying to gain, they were able to lose weight if they're trying to lose weight. Like their hair grew, like little things like that. Your body knows when you are in distress. And I feel like your mind has to catch up with your body.
There are things. I'm sorry, did I interrupt you?
No, just go ahead.
Yeah, there are toxic behaviors that come with misogyny that men don't believe can be abusive. Like, maybe you're not hitting your woman, but infidelity, cheating is a form of, I'm going to say psychological, but emotional abuse, definitely. Whereas you can see where that can really alter someone's self-worth.
Yep.
Where they believe, where you've hyped them up to believe that you are the only one, but actually you have someone on the side. And now, once your significant other finds out about this, they could start to believe that, hey, they may not be good enough for you.
Yeah. What did they do wrong?
What did they start to blame themselves? Also, we do see victim blaming.
A lot. Oh my God. And that's a form of gaslighting. Yeah. Like, and that irks my soul. I feel like you should not blame a victim for the abuse that's happening to them. Whether it's sexual abuse, whether it's verbal abuse, like, it's not their fault that you are probably down on yourself and you hate yourself, that you have to express this to other people. Like, especially sexual assault, like, it's not the victim's fault. So don't ask them what they were wearing. Don't ask them if they had too much to drink. Don't ask them where they were. Like, well, you can ask them where they were because, God figured it out. But those little things, like, don't ask those questions to make the victim feel like, oh, well, this is my fault.
Yeah.
When in reality, no, it's that man or it's that woman that violated you.
Yeah. Or in the case of like infidelity, like women get asked, were they cooking? Were they cleaning? Were they giving their man enough sex? Where at the end of the day, we are all in control of all of our actions. And there's not one person that is like saying that should believe cheating is the right thing to do. We all know that's wrong. It's just still done anyway. And some of us are able to, like, it's normalized. Yeah. So they think it's something that, like, hey, it's done, it'll be forgiven. Some of us trick ourselves into believing that we have the right to do this, but that you can emotionally damage a person through these actions.
Yeah.
And it's always been crazy to me to see, like, I'll say, like, most of the men, like, I'm around have, like, and from, like, my generation, I grew up in, like, a one-person household with, like, a one-parent household, and they were raised by their mother. And it's crazy to see these men grow up to, like, still mistreat women, as it was like, hey, like, first person you see when you wake up is your mother. Last person you see at night before you go to sleep is your mother. And this is for 18 or 21 years of your life. Yep. So for you to not cherish every woman like you would cherish your mother is just like that crazy. It's crazy for me. Where you wouldn't, and I'm sure, like, even with, I was saying Ray Rice earlier, where he said that he grew up seeing his mother in bad relationships. I'm sure he didn't like the effect that these relationships had on his mother. Right. So even if it's like a point where it's like, hey, well, you thought this was normal, you still should have known that it wasn't right. So for you to emulate, a boy or not, for you to emulate the same behavior is still just crazy to me.
I feel like that also goes back into the tunnel vision of you thinking it's this way and it should be this way, even though you feel like it's not right, until you get that outside perspective. Like things with me and my family, like, I feel like things were a certain way until I got outside clarity, I guess I could say. You know what I mean?
Can you still hear us? I see we're like breaking up a little bit.
No, I'm still here. Yeah,
the
I'm just, you guys are still bringing up some good points. Like, I think, I don't want to say a lot of it starts from home, but it's just the environment. That's why I feel like as a community, we have to do it as a collective, because if you're not seeing it at home, you're going to go outside and see it, or you're going to go to your friend's house and you're going to see it at their home. So it's just like, exactly, just accountability. Like, just because it's not your kid, or that's not your sister or your daughter, like, still say, this is somebody's kid, this is somebody's daughter, this is somebody's sister. So like, what example do I want to set? Because it's going to have an effect on them. And yeah, like the tunnel vision, I think that's a really good point too, because yeah, sometimes when you're in this situation, it's for example like infidelity. Like, if you're in a situation where the person is like cheating on you, it gets to a point where it feels like normalized, because it's like this person's continuously doing it, and then until like you remove yourself from the situation, you're like, oh, actually that's not okay. That's not what's supposed to be happening. So it's just like, just finding that, how would you say, just just finding that clarity and understanding that there's better, and like, just you have to work on it, and just sometimes removing yourself from the situation and being accountable is a good place to start.
So. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, so, and lastly, since we have both of you here, I wanted to ask, as Black women, what do you think needs to be done more to protect yourself and each other?
Well, so speaking for me personally is protecting my energy. So being mindful of who I'm around, being mindful of what I invest in, like, and just just basically, what do I put my energy in? Like, is it worth it? Because I feel a younger me, things that I invested in, when I reflect, I'm like, it served no purpose. Like, why did you even let yourself get upset about that? Like, why did you even let yourself be sad, or whatever the case is? Like, you literally could have just been like, oh, okay, and moved on from it. But instead, I sat there, I dwelled on it, I took myself on this low ass emotional roller coaster. Oh, sorry, cussing again. I took myself on this low emotional roller coaster. For what reason? Whereas I feel like now I'm just like, I'm getting to a place where I'm like, I know as long as I pick and choose and I invest wisely, like, I don't have to be in certain situations. So it's like, if I'm dating someone and he starts and he's showing me red flags, like, I could be like, okay, let's remove ourselves from this. Like, I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, I could change him, he's going to be different. Like, no, he's showing you himself right then and there. You need to move. And if you can, give him some resources and be like, hey, brother, you need some help because you're not on a good path. And before you go and mess up somebody else's life, I hope you can fix yourself. So I feel like it's just protecting your energy, and like you said, calling out bad behavior in other people as well. And again, accountability on yourself as well.
Yeah, I have to agree with the energy and just growing, understanding what, like you said, you would get mad at a younger age, and now you're letting it go. That's growth, and I've experienced that too. Like, I used to be so hot headed, and now I'm just like, all right, whatever. So yeah, because we have to wrap up. We have a minute.
Yeah. So to wrap up real quick, takeaways from this, ladies, protect yourself, protect your energy. I'm very pro put his ass in jail. I am very pro mace that dude. I'm very pro tase that dude. I'm very pro call your brothers. I think Black women have to put themselves first, yep. and put their foot down for their wants and needs, especially when it comes to protection. Yep. And we are about to